Okay, so in this video I'm going to replace the final drive with a different ratio drive. This will with a longer ratio. So what that will mean for me is it's going to give me a higher top speed, and then combine that with a variator, I should get up there quite quickly as well. So I'm going to remove this clutch. So again, I use an impact driver. There are special keys you can buy in, you can put in them, and but I'll just use an impact driver for speed. So this is a size 17. So there she is. Now you get the washer. That's it. The cover for the clutch. And here's the clutch itself, and the contrast spring is inside. So I'll remove that. So what I'll do is I've already compressed it here. So you'd actually grab it, compress it, let the belt go in all the way, and that'll let you pull it all out. And there we go. So that's in, and you can see the contrast spring there. I'm actually going to replace that in another video. I'm changing this to I got a Minarelli final drive and a variator as well. So the gearbox is just these Allen keys here. So let's just do them. Now there's two different sizes here, and that's something you have to watch out for. So these screws are actually, the majority of them are real short, but there's two long ones. One is here and the other one is here, I think, from memory. There's also a seal behind that, so just watch out you don't damage it. Now, when I pull this box out, it'll just pop out. There's two little washers that you have to watch out, and they actually sit up here, and they're different. One's a flat washer and one's a spring washer, and you have to watch out which way they go back in, just to make sure that they go in the same way. So like I said, most of these are small, but you will find that two of these are quite long. There's the long one that goes in here, and the other long one I think is up here. Yeah, there's the other long one. So that's nice. So just remember when you're putting them back in that that's the way they go. That one and the last one. Now, when I pop this out, this just rocks back out. Now, if you can't get it out, you can actually lever it up here, so you can get a bar and just lever it gently and just wig it all over. Sometimes it gets stuck. So there's the primary drive, and that's it. And this is what we're going to replace. This is this has 13 splines, 13 teeth. Oh, and there's the two washers I spoke about. So let me just put that aside for a minute. I'll just talk about these two washers. So you've got two washers. You've got a flat one. Now that one's perfectly flat, and you got one that's kind of beveled. It goes in and out a little bit. So they go together like that. So the bevel it goes in like that at the bottom, and they just go onto that. And that's your primary drive there. So just remember that, and don't lose them, and they go back in here. Now I'm gonna have to take this out as well. Basically what I'm changing is I'm changing here, this drive, and this one here. Now this looks like it's pressed in, so I'm gonna have to pop it back out again and push the other one in. And this gasket is very important. You should probably replace this gasket. It doesn't cost that much. So that's your standard gearbox on a Minarelli engine. Okay, in the next video, in order to replace this here, I'm gonna have to actually take the wheel off and take the exhaust off. So so that just gives me access to the box here, but to actually take this cog out here, I'm gonna have to, because they're pressed on this. So the wheel has to come out, and then this will come out and I'll have access to the gears. So in the next video I'll have the new gear that's coming in the post tomorrow, so I'll have the new gear in and we'll see how it goes. So to take this gear out, what you need to do is you need to either put it on a press and just press it down, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 2 bits of wood. I'm going to leave it on the bearing and I'm just going to gently tap that and see if it pops out. It shouldn't take too much force. Now be careful, something just dropped down. I see what's dropped down. This. Put that back in the engine. Now, so I'll just have a look. I'll put 2 2x4s under it and I'll just tap it gently. Now, a good tip not to destroy this is I usually put the nut back on, and that gives you a little bit extra. If I put the nut even with that, when I hit it with a hammer, it shouldn't flatten the front of it. So let me try and get the 2x4 and give it a little tap and see what happens. So I have the two bits of wood. The reason I chose wood is because it's softer than metal. So if anything is going to give, the wood will give rather than metal. I don't want to break the casing itself. So I've braced it. If you don't have two the exact same, take one and cut it in half. That'll do the same job. And I squeeze the gear and let's see if it pops out. That's it. It's gone. Now you have the gear. Take the bolt out without damaging anything. There it is. The bearing is intact. Hasn't damaged it. We've got the shaft off and you can see how far it goes. Now some people say you should have measured this, but in reality the gear will go as far as the bearing and it'll just meet the bearing, so there's no need to measure that. It'll just go straight in. So let's wait for the new gear to arrive and we'll pop it back in. So that was nice and easy, and hopefully I didn't damage it. Now if you do damage this seal, there is a number on it and you can just order a new seal, and you can actually do it from this side. You don't need to take the bearing out. You can actually pop it out, pop the new seal back in. So if you do end up with a leak here, it's not actually the end of the world. You don't have to disassemble everything. You can actually take the seal out from this side and just push it back in. What I recommend then to do is keep the old seal and use that to beat down the new seal down into it. That way you've got two of the same kind of strength materials pushing each other, and therefore you won't damage it. I'm going to actually oil this. I'm going to put some not oil, grease in there, high temperature grease, just to make sure that my seal is kept. But it looks okay. It didn't look damaged in any way, so it should be okay. So that's it. It's as easy as that. Let's put the new gears in. Okay, next I'm going to take out the secondary drive. I'll put the nut back in so I don't flatten it. And I might put something on the far side. My knee. Let's see. Now, that's it. It's out. I'll show you the far side. So you can see now the shaft has come out all the way, and now we have access to the gear. Now what I might do is I'll take the nut out of the other side, pull it out completely, there's the secondary gear out as well. So just don't forget about this. As you see, it was pushed in all the way. Again, you don't need to measure it because the bearing will actually stop and you're beating it back in again. Just careful not to put too much force on it because you might damage it. So there's the secondary gear. And this is what we're interested in, access to this. Now, so let's see when the new gear arrives. I may have to press the gear in here, but that's it. That's how you remove it. And once it arrives, I'll do a video on putting it back in again. Ooh. This one could do with a change. Doesn't feel as nice as this one. Okay, I'll have a look. I may have to replace some of the bearings here. But yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm changing the ratio of these cogs. I'll get that primary one. So as you see, these are primary and these are your secondary, like this. So that's it. So you need to replace this and this with a longer gear in order to gain more top speed. One last important point. I'm going to take this gear off in my next video. And the reason I'm not taking it off now is because I'm not putting the new one back on straight away. And the problem with this is this actually has a rotation. As you can see, it's angled. It's angled like this. So I just don't want to. I don't want to take it off and then forget what way it was angled. So I'm better off taking it off and replacing it straight away with the gear I'm looking for. So this actually has a marking. It says 52. So that's obviously the amount of teeth. So it's 13 to 52 is the current ratio. I actually can't remember what the Melossi one that I ordered is, but it has a 38% gain, I think, on top speed. So yeah, so I'll take this off in my next video. Again, I'll do the same kind of trick I did before, where I'll put this on a bit of wood. I'll tap this out, and then put the new one in over it. So I'll show you that in the next video. Just wanted to show you how this works. So here's your primary gear. That has 13 teeth, and it goes on to this larger one here, which is 52. And I'm replacing this with a 16 to 40, which will make the gears a good bit longer, which should give me a massive gain on the upper end. So the top speed. So here's your primary gear, and this is your secondary. This one, the small one here, and this one here, that's your secondary gear. So let's see, I'm going to take that out. This is your secondary, and here's the primary one, and this one here has the primary and the secondary. So this is 52 teeth, and like I said, this is 13, so I'm going to replace this with a 16 to 40. So I'll do this in my next video. What I'll do is I'll push this out. The one thing I would mention is this particular cog is directional. As you see, the splines are going this way. So you have to be very careful to put it in the right way around. So that's why I'm not taking this off until I have the new gear to install. So like I said, this is going to arrive tomorrow, and what I'll do is I'll take this off and I'll put the new one back on, and I'll replace this one. So I'll show you that in the next video.